going way back, way back. Xbox 360, Pinball FX, the original. The one that you used to be able to play online with your friends all at the same time. And man, I got to meet a lot of really cool people doing that. And we're all very disappointed that we can't do it now. So we'll go with the original 3 machines that came with the table. I don't even know if this is downloadable anymore. And graphically, you can absolutely tell that this is an old one. Oops. I need to catch the ball so I can change my view properly. It's not 2. It's not 3. It's not 4. Must be view 1 on this one. You change it up on, it seems, on each iteration. So we'll live with this. But yeah, it's amazing going all the way back to their beginnings here and seeing what we're seeing here as opposed to the modern version. So you can set this up back in the day to several different types of games where you were score chasing, and in multiplayer you have another window up there with each one of the players and a little meter showing where they were at score-wise compared to you. You can do it where you're chasing to a score. You can do a time game. It was a blast. I mean, we would be, especially on like Saturdays and Sunday mornings. So detail-wise, it's scaled oddly. There's graphics level. It's a little grisly, we'll call it. My God, I haven't played this game in, I'm going to say 10 years, if not longer. What you'll see in the main menu on here is download Pinball FX 2, and I will be doing a video of that fairly shortly. But when 2 came out, that's when everybody got highly disappointed because the game modes that everybody loved so much on this disappeared. So I actually got a hold of Zen Studios to discuss that when I was also asking them for some art files I can use on my website, my YouTube channel. And they explained to me that it was just the amount of money they had to spend for the server space and bandwidth wasn't worth it for the amount of people that were actually using it. I would love for them to revisit that. And hell, I'd even pay a little bit for it. Right now, a lot of people are in an uproar because the current Pinball FX that's on the current console, so my Xbox Series X, that you had to rebuy all of the machines all over again. Well, many upgrades were done. And the fact that they transferred the machines over for free for each iteration of the game for a long time, I thought it was a petty beef. I'm sorry, if you can't afford it, then just play the old one. And you complain that you already own the machines, all right, then you still do. You own it in the old version. It costs money to make games, folks. And there's people that are paid. It's not just the company that releases the games. They have employees, programmers, graphics people, physics people, all that wonderful stuff to make sure that these things work as wonderfully as they do. So, you know, you're basically saying if you want to deny them a paycheck, that they should work for free for you. That's not how business works. And then, especially an independent outfit like a Zen, you need to have a bankroll so you've got the money to put away to develop more games. Don't forget, during the development stage, you're paying people to build these things, but you're not getting paid yet because you haven't released the game, just like with movies. The actors are getting paid, the people that do the music are getting paid, the editor's getting paid. You've got all the equipment that you have to buy to do it all. So in this, it would be the computers you need for the programming. You've also got all the people out there in the world that you need to be in touch with for licensing. So when they went to Bally's Williams to get licenses for several of the machines they have out now, this is stuff that you have to pay money for. So you need a person to go talk to their people, negotiate, and come to terms. You know, then there's also the playing that particular pinball machine to make sure you got the physics right. The gapping correctly, the flippers, the bounce that you're going to get off the flippers, you know, how everything reacts. You know, if I'm a Bally's or a Williams, when you're going to replicate my machine in digital format, I want it replicated as accurately as possible. So again, all of these people get a paid check, and I'm sure they have health insurance benefits and all that stuff too, all money. You want to complain about spending money, I would complain more about your tax dollars and where those are going. I don't know if I'm having a good game here or not. Been that long. Had to download the game again. I'm sure that the file size is a hell of a lot smaller than the modern ones. I mean, the modern Pinball FX, and even Pinball FX 3, takes longer to load than the new Call of Duty. So there's obviously a bit of bloat in the programming. But in my opinion, once it's loaded, as long as it works properly, I'm not going to complain. Now, if it took forever and a day for each machine to load, that would suck. So there you go. This is your new high score this week. My all-time best is 810 million, so that wasn't a very good score. So we'll head back to the main menu. So yeah, this is the multiplayer mode I was talking about, which no longer exists. Achievements won't even look at, but here you go. That's the key. Download Pinball FX 2. And the wonderful part about that was when you did download Pinball FX 2, you got, I believe, all of these games. Maybe not Rocky and Bullwinkle. So let's go ahead and do Extreme real quick. And by real quick, it's probably going to be a quick game because I never was good at this table. Hopefully I won't get any copyright issues with this music. I have no idea who this is. So when we were playing multiplayer, I wouldn't mind playing something like this because you're on the mic talking to everybody that you're playing with. Yeah, there's some friendly trash talking. Not any obnoxious bullshit that was
Can't stop.
on, so that was nice. And some of the people that I played this with are still on my friends list to this day. Like 100 years later, it seems. We were playing this way back in the 1900s. Alright, so here I am saying that I suck at this table, and it'll probably be quick, but I'm actually keeping the ball in play. And started a multi-ball to boot. So obviously by the themes, you know, skater themes and all that wonderful stuff, you can tell the era that these came out. You know, it was back during the time you know, Tony Hawk games were huge. Now these are Zen tables. These aren't valleys that, you know, I might have played back in the day. What is a lot of fun is that a lot of the tables that Zen has now, I have played in real life. And Zen also came out with a table that was digital. So you could actually play these games, but on a digital table.
Yeah.
So notice I'm not talking about the gameplay because I have no idea. I'm just flipping the ball, hoping for score. I don't know if any of my friends still play this. Yeah, the customizations that you can do now on the current versions are also a reason, you know, that this is pretty much rendered obsolete. You know, you'll see when I go to Pinball, if you watch the Pinball FX 2 video, that these games that I'm playing right now went to that version. So there really was no reason to keep this. Play it because I own it.
Yeah.
And to screw around and put together a nice quick video for some people to go ahead and peruse. I seem to get more hits and more likes on videos that are the more obscure games than the mainstream. Which would be because most people are doing videos on mainstream. Right now, I guarantee you there's a whole lot of streaming going on with the new Sniper Elite game. A whole lot of YouTube videos and playthroughs and walkthroughs and how-tos and where everything's at and all that wonderful stuff. Makes me miss the old days of the Nintendo Power Guide or whatever it's called. Nintendo Power. The magazine that Nintendo came out with where you could read about games that were coming up, but better still, they would have walkthroughs. So when Mario came out, the first Mario Brothers game came out, you actually had the book, had the guide that was sent to your house for free, the magazines. Then you can get the big guide book that had several games that help you get through Mario and Metroid and all those wonderful games that you played back in the day. Now, with everybody and their brother, used to be on the dial-up internet, you'd have somebody wrote up an ASCII file, you'd have a literal text-based walkthrough. And they would actually draw the maps in ASCII and all that. If you don't know what ASCII is, then ask your parents. They might know. You didn't have all this video technology that you could walk around within your pocket. A little rectangle that basically says, hey, I can look up, I can see, I can listen to anything in the palm of my hand. Yeah, I'm talking about a time when you couldn't be on the internet because you had to use the phone. I wound up eventually having 2 phone lines in my house, so I could have one dedicated to my internet and one to use for voice calls. This is back before cell phones were a thing. I used to do a lot of tech support for people, and in order for me to do that, I needed to have access to the internet and my computer to help them out.
Step back.
No Google either. You had to be very creative in the web search. You would use, which, oh my god, what there was, there's web crawler, spider something.
Yeah.
Netscape was the browser that you use. This is before even Microsoft had Internet Explorer. You had Netscape, and I can't think of the other ones.
Step back.
So I was a tech live for AOL for a while, which really was the first social media out there. They really blew it. You know, they could have wound up having a really good thing today, but ended up with that just
Can't
basically
stop.
slopping. Now the difference with AOL is AOL you paid for it. All right, I'm not shooting for any kind of high scores or anything here, so what I'm going to do is let this go ahead and drain itself out, which may take a while. There we go. Generous on the ball saves. They made these pinball machines very arcadey, not as, you know, realistic as most. But in order to show you anything else, I got to get the hell out of this game. We're at the 17-minute mark. I don't want these videos to be more than an hour. Tops. Flip it and hit one thing, so when it drains, I shouldn't get a ball save. No, ball save still lit.
I'm out of control. Here I go.
Now ball save still lit. So there you have it. That's 2 machines. I'll show you one of the downloadable ones now. God, that's... Did I get an extra ball? Or does this have 5 balls? That's another thing too, is back in the day a pinball machine cost a quarter, but you also got 5 balls per game, not including any extra balls you may have achieved during your playthrough. Alright, so that must have been an extra ball. Oh hell, if I would have kept on cranking there, I would have beat my high score of all time. Something to shoot for later. I forget what Agents was. Buccaneer, Earth Defense, which is still on the tables to this day. Excalibur is also still on there. Street Fighter 2, not so much. I'm going to do Rocky and Bullwinkle and probably call it a day after that.
Well, here we go again!
Another one here too, where I mentioned in my earlier video for Pinball FX 3, tell your friends about it. You know, subscribe and like my channel. Tell your friends about it, but definitely tell anybody that you know that's over 50, because they'll know Rocky and Bullwinkle, the cartoon from back in the day. They'll know pinball. I remember going to Lawson's. That was our corner store. They had a pinball machine in there. I forget what that one was called. Because there are other pinball games that you can get besides Pinball FX. I don't think that anybody compares quality-wise to the Pinball FX games. But you can get a lot of the really old classics and see what the hell it was like when, you know, all you had was maybe a drop hole, a handful of targets, and they were all drop targets. Yeah, there wasn't the ridiculous mess that you can see on tables nowadays.
Everybody up! Let's go!
So yeah, so they had to get a license to do this. Because this is not a Zen original. This pinball machine, there was an actual Rocky and Bullwinkle pinball machine. But you also need the license for the fact that it is Rocky and Bullwinkle. Cartoon was created, I believe, Hanna-Barbera, I want to say. Trademarks of and copyrighted by Word Productions, it says down there on the bottom. Rocky and Bullwinkle Programming, Ward Productions Incorporated under license to Bullwinkle Studios, LLC. Which I believe Rocky and Bullwinkle was a Hanna-Barbera product. Can't say for sure. I think this is one of the cartoons they would show on the Banana Split show. And oops. Screw that up. Don't like the table moving around. Don't need that. It's like playing pinball on a boat. All right.
We failed.
22 minutes on this video so far, so hey, what the hell, why not? Let's go ahead.
Give me a sack of your finest boots.
All-time high score on this one is 945 million. I scored 26 million that time. I'm going to go ahead and do Street Fighter 2. So now you've got a video game product that needed to get licensed. So yeah, if you're familiar with the games, then you'll understand the sound effects and everything going on here. It is exactly like the video game. I activated the ball save. I don't want a ball save. Just get through these 3 balls. And the nostalgia. And the machines were all very reasonable back then. They would do, when you got to Pinball FX 2, is I think when they started doing the packs. And you get like 4 tables for $5, I think, something like that. The downloads on here were very reasonably priced as well. Have it on the 360 with its old crappy headset and microphone. Getting 4 people in. The best part about it was you had, because it was always just 4 people in a multiplayer game, is you'd have a line of all your friends waiting to try to get in to play with you. It's great. Which was why I was shocked that it failed the way it did, because it appeared that it was popular. But maybe not so much. Again, it's one of those deals where the popularity of online play, you'd think they'd get around to going back to that again, but instead what we have is tournaments that are generalized. You go and just play against a leaderboard. The current Pinball FX, you get trophies for finishing in the top certain percentile. And we'll get to that when I do a quick video of that as well. You need to keep Pinball FX 3 because some of the games did not go over to the new Pinball FX. And that's probably due to licensing. There you go. That's Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I believe that was on the Super Nintendo. So there you have it. The nice thing about this is your help and options will give you the how to play, how the controllers work, your settings, the whole 9 yards. Comes in handy, because every pinball machine has a list of what you need to do on the machine itself. It was on a card, usually on the lower left-hand side by the left flipper button, and that's where you can go ahead, which they actually show them on here too, where you can read generalized instructions. They get to the point now where they get a heck of a lot more detailed.